One of the blah, 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 blah. One of the most beautiful moments in my journey of self-discovery has recently happened, and I wanted to share my perspective with all of you about this. Um what came out of weeks, probably years, I guess this was years in the making, of learning about detachment and discernment and gratitude and being able to kind of sort the real from the fake. And it's been a very convincing matrix of illusions we've been raised in. Not all of us, most of us. It's been a lot of lies going around, and I've always noticed a certain pattern about the fact that whatever goal I thought I had in my life was only as helpful as, you know, in the case of getting me to the next goal, realizing that the goal wasn't actually the goal and that there would be a goal after the goal. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, so essentially it probably means there's not going to be any type of finish line until I either realize something or until I'm dead. Because either I'm always going to be wanting other things, either there isn't necessarily a goal that could fulfill me enough for me to stop wanting things. So I've accepted that I probably would still be wanting things, but then it kind of, I wouldn't say killed my ambition, but it made me look at things differently. It made me literally look at my objectives as, well, okay, I'm in the process of getting there, and I really want to enjoy the process more, knowing that probably when I get there, I'm going to want something else. And this thing that is seemingly very important in the moment could actually just be some kind of a checkpoint, could actually just be some step along the way for me to finally get to the realization of what I'm truly after. And what I've realized is that from my experience, what we are truly after is ourselves. Most of the goals, most of the objective, that kind of society programmed us to attain and reach as if it was going to be the final step, like the end of all suffering, all pain, the ultimate, exit to the experience of suffering in our lives. They're literally just byproducts of self discovery. They're literally just an external manifestation, an external trigger that you pursue because you think this is going to bring you the feeling of whatever it is that you're truly looking for. And for most people, it's going to have to do with what they've severely been lacking of in their experience. So if you've lacked recognition, well, you're probably going to be a person that is going to be desperate for other people's attention, validation, some form of status, some form of power, because you have the feeling that this external validation is going to be enough to fill the void, not realizing that what is essentially the remedy for the void is your capacity to recognize that that feeling of validation and recognition is already accessible to you within yourself. And the thing is, like most people, they go after these external things and then they get it, but they still have a void to fill. They still have to, they become kind of attached to the external manifestation of what it is they're trying to, you know, actually realize and actualize within themselves. So they become dependent. So they're always going to have to fight for more or fight to keep what they already have because it doesn't really belong to them. It's kind of a, I wouldn't even say a mutual relationship because it's so out of balance. It always kind of takes more from you that it gives you, no matter how it looks. No matter how it looks. Because as soon as you become dependent, then those things, they control you. They're in power. You're not really in control. You're controlled. You're dependent. You need it. You need other people to give you it. You always need more of it because it's not, it's a void. It's like trying to, you constantly, it's like you have a cup and like the bottom is just, there's a hole in the bottom. So it doesn't matter how much you pour into the cup, it's always going to be leaking. So for you to have the sensation that your cup is always full, you're going to have to keep pouring. And if it comes from an external source, you're going to have to ask, or maybe sometimes demand. And I think this is why a lot of people act the way they do, because they're demanding the external to fill the void, not realizing that what they need to do is actually plug the hole. Pause. But anyway, it made me realize, yeah, these things, the byproducts, they're just byproducts of self discovery, that house you want. And obviously, it's going to be a different type of conversation if you're like homeless and whatnot. I don't want to talk as if the external doesn't play a part. I'm very grateful for my very own circumstances. No matter how much I could, sporadically complain about them, not realizing that this frustration wasn't really about anything external. It was about me not being able to expand my perspective enough to realize that the things I wanted were already part of my identity, were already accessible and available to me from an energetic standpoint. And the power of the internal is that once you actually get to work with it, it doesn't really feel like you need anything else from the external, if you know what I mean. It's not like you stop wanting these things. It's not like you stop enjoying these things, not like you stop wanting these things to physically manifest, because at the end of the day, this is an experience and this is a physical experience. You want to experience things in the physical. It makes sense. This is what you came here for. So I'm not knocking it away. And especially when it comes to things that we could call like basic needs, like a house, love, food, a purpose, joy, their needs. But once your needs are fulfilled, you get to just enjoy the things you want, not really being attached to them. It's kind of like the purest form of love and enjoyment, whether it is with things or with people. You know, love is abundant, love is free, love is flowing. And whatever you love, I think the purest and highest form of love you can have, whatever and whoever, is that love that is kind of free of dependency from the things. Then again, you have situation where maybe you're going to be dependent. It's not a problem to depend, but I don't know. Is it? If you're a parent, for instance, your children, they kind of depend on you for a big chunk of their lives. So in that sense, it's not a problem to depend. And at the early stages of your life, and or at the, you know, transformational stages of your life, maybe you kind of depend or need some kind of positive reinforcement before you're able to actually trust yourself enough to go along without a form of external validation. I know I didn't really go through that, not in the sense that I didn't have external validation, but I had it on things that didn't necessarily resonate with the truth of my essence. And it's gotten to a point where I started looking for internal validation instead. I've started looking for resonance. I've started looking for truth, using my heart as a compass, using my heart as, you know, kind of telling me where to go, how to go about things, kind of showing me what I resonated with, even if I didn't think it was the case, and what I didn't resonate with as hard as I wanted to. And you kind of build this level of intuition and confidence, and you realize, yeah, so basically, whatever I think is going to bring me the feeling is just going to be a trigger. But most of the time, it's not even a trigger to the feeling, it's not even an access to the feeling, it's an access, it's a step. It's allowing you to realize feeling is already there. No matter how many times you go for external things, until you recognize, until you acknowledge that the feeling is already there and that there's much more to it than whatever it is you're looking for, you're gonna keep kind of running after different things. You're gonna keep running after money, you're gonna keep running after people, you're gonna keep running after recognition, you're going to switch from place to place. It's not to say that your environment doesn't really play a part, but if you have that capacity before you get the things you want, before you get that move, before you get that house, I think your appreciation for them and your capacity for gratitude towards these things and towards your experience in general becomes so much greater when you realize and internalize that the manifestation of these things are kind of the response to you recognizing how much is already there within. And this is something that you can take a lot of pride in, I think. Not in a bad way, but it's like self esteem, self respect, and also it sparks a different kind of different and familiar at the same time, because I think this is how we come to the world as children, and it kind of reignites that curiosity for the world and for your experience. And you're that much grateful. And I think this is an important lesson. So I wanted to share this with you. And yeah, whatever. Hopefully this resonates with a lot of people. Doesn't really matter when you watch it. Well, yeah, I hope you got something from it, and I wish you a very pleasant day. Take care. Be well. Love y'all.